Welcome to the Guitar Learning Show. I'm Bob.
And I'm Kevin.
And today we're going to take a look at a reissue of a classic, historic pedal, really. The TC Electronic, it's known as the SCF. They call it the Stereo Chorus Plus, but we'll go into the history a little bit. And that explains why they called it the SCF. But the reason we're talking about this today, this reissue is a couple years old, but when we're starting out and we're going down that pedal journey, the drives are great, right? Well, we jump to the drives because that's the fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this is an incredibly flexible and incredibly affordable pedal. If you want to start dipping your toes into modulation, or you've got some drive pedals and you just want to have something that's some form of modulation, this has a lot of options and it sounds great. So I thought we'd just take a quick tour through the features.
Okay.
To give you a little bit of history, this was the first pedal issued by TC Electronic in 1976 when they were founded. It was in production until 2016. The original version was actually had a transformer and a 110 power cord on it. So you had to plug the pedal directly into the wall. It didn't take a 9-volt power supply.
There were a few like that back in the 70s.
Yes, yep, there absolutely was. And so it was widely used. It's been on the pedal boards of Eric Johnson, is probably one of the heaviest users of it, Joe Bonamassa, John Petrucci, Steve Lukather, Brian May. It's been all over the place. They stopped production of the original version in 2016, and in 2021 they reissued it. They modified it a little bit. It is still an all analog bucket brigade circuit. No digital code or chips or anything running in it. It's still stereo. The big change that they made was they switched it from being 110 to running off of a standard 9-volt pedal power supply. So it has 3 effects: chorus, they call it pitch modulation, it's really vibrato, and a flanger. So the reason this works is because if you look at, for example, how you make a chorus effect. So chorus effect, you take the signal, you split it. One half goes to vibrato. The other gets delayed a little bit, which is why this has bucket brigade delay chips in it. It gets delayed a little bit and overlaid on top. So that's why if you look, most chorus pedals do offer a vibrato mode, because it's just, you get it for free basically when you build a chorus circuit. The flanger, so that gives us chorus and vibrato. The flanger, the way flanger works is you split the circuit, you split the signal, you have the dry signal, and then the wet signal gets a delay, but it's a random delay. So the delay time changes a little bit and gets overlaid on top of the dry signal. And they generally have what they call a regen or a feedback control, which is it takes some of that flanger signal and runs it back through the flanger again, which is how you get those runaway jet engine effects. There are 3 main controls, and it actually also has a built-in analog preamp. That is primarily for leveling guitars. So if you're using this with a couple different guitars, you can tweak the levels and get the level the same. It's a true bypass pedal. We have the speed, that is, and it's marked in hertz, and it's literally hertz. It is 1 per second of the vibrato signal. 10 is 10 per second. So that is just how warbly it gets. The width is essentially the intensity of the modulation. And the intensity control in chorus mode, it does a few different things depending on the mode. In chorus mode, it is how much of the wet versus the dry signal, so you can get it almost to pure vibrato and then up to a very whooshy chorus sound. In vibrato mode, it allows you to add some chorusy signal back in if you want. That's what intensity does. And then in the flanger mode, it's the amount of that regen. It's basically that regen control. So we'll just take a few minutes and go through some of the sounds that you can get from it.
All right.
So what's our signal path here?
We're using some wireless to go directly into the TC Electronics Chorus / what do they call it exactly?
They call it the Chorus Plus or SCF, Stereo Chorus, because it is a fully stereo. We're running in mono today, but it is a stereo pedal. So it's SCF, Stereo Chorus Flanger is what they call it.
Okay.
or the Chorus Plus. Part of the reason too that I wanted to feature this is this pedal is dirt cheap. It is $85 in the US. So it's a great first pedal when you start down the modulation path. And the guitar we're playing with today?
It's a Fender American Ultra 2 series. Yeah.
Beautiful guitar.
Fairly recent acquisition.
It's a beautiful guitar. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll start out with everything just at the close to the midpoints here. So we'll do 5, 5, and okay, 4. Let's get the kind of midway points. All right, we'll go there.
And
So
which effect are we going for?
we're going to start with chorus.
Okay.
What's our clean signal? Our clean sound sound like? Sounds great. Okay, start the chorus. Okay, let's crank it up to the maximum here and see what that sounds like. That's a bit much.
It's a little bit on the warbly side.
Yeah, absolutely. So we turn the speed down a little bit, the width, the intensity. So that gives you a good. And then just to show that we had it at a max intensity, this is down a little bit. I'm going to turn the intensity down to be mostly dry signal. So it's about 1. So it really gives you that kind of ability to adjust how chorusy you want it to sound.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at, turn it down, the settings down a little bit. Let's take a look at the pitch modulator. So this is essentially the vibrato effect. Okay, it doesn't feel like an entirely dry vibrato effect, even with the intensity turned all the way down, but you can turn it up and get some of that chorus sound back in there. Then the last one, let's take a look at the flanger effect. Turn those back a little bit. Okay, let's see how the flanger sounds.
It's chorusy.
It is a little chorusy. Let's turn up the feedback effect. Let's go to the maximum regen there and see. Yeah, none of the sounds in here are going to be the extremes that you can get with a dedicated pedal, right? A modern chorus or a dedicated chorus pedal definitely has a much bigger chorus sound. Flanger, you can get into kind of those, they call it the jet plane effect, where it starts feeding back on itself and takes off like that. This isn't going to do that, but it is at $85. It's really a fantastic way to dip your toe into modulation. And sometimes too, I think when we're starting out, having a pedal that won't get us into trouble is a pretty good thing. You know, keep the effects a little more subtle, at least until you figure out how they work with your particular style.
I thought the chorus on that was pretty decent. The other effects were...
Yeah, there's a chorus feel to everything.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably originally a chorus circuit first. I'm not entirely sure about that in the history, but it does give you some flexibility. Like I said, will it replace a dedicated flanger pedal? Definitely not. Especially depending on how you like to play your flanger effects. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for your time today. Please do us a favor, and if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. The YouTube stats are pretty consistent to tell us that most of the folks who watch our video are not subscribed. So it would certainly help us please the algorithm if you'd hit that subscribe button and be notified when we have new videos.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.